welcome to another episode of From the Ground Up. I'm Bianca Miller-Cole, and today we're going to be talking about logistics. So if you're building, like I am, a product-led business, you want to think about how the product is going to get from A to B, i.e. from your home or your factory to your customer, into your customer's hands. Now, most brands, most small businesses would typically think about doing it themselves, right? They start packaging at home, and then as they get bigger, they think about what they want to do next. And that is one way of doing it. But I know from personal experience of being down this road before that I don't want to do it myself. So in the past, when I first launched Bianca Miller London, we had, and I'll tell you the whole journey, right? At first, we had the stock in our home. So we had it in the house, in the loft, and every time we needed to package something, I'd have to go up to the loft, or if I'm honest, my husband would go up to the loft, bring the packaging down, and then we would take it to the office, or we would refill from the office because we had an office there. So we had some stock there, some stock at home, and it wasn't much fun, right? If the office ran out of stock, they're like, Bianca, we need more stock. They might come to my home and get it, or I'd have to bring it there. And then at one point, we had a really large order in. It was 10,000 pairs of tights. And I had to get the troops in. I had to get in my friends, my family in to help me get all this stock packaged. And it was then that I realized that this isn't something that I want to do again. Certainly on this road, this journey to building a brand from the ground up, I've now started thinking about how I can make the whole process more efficient. And in that process, I started thinking about how I would therefore not have to have any stock, not have to control any stock. For those of you that follow me on social media and so on, you'll know I'm quite digitally nomadic. I don't necessarily want to always be in the UK. I like to be in Dubai or South Africa or Thailand and still working from there. So I want to make sure that my stock is still in a position where it can go out to the customer. And that is why I started looking at fulfillment. So I asked Shoshana, my Fiverr VA, to start doing some research on fulfillment centers. Fulfillment centers are essentially places where people can send their stock and it is then picked and packed and sent out to a customer directly, so you don't actually have to take control of the stock. So when most of your packages arrive, that's where it's been. It's been in a fulfillment center. And that is where I am today. So Shoshana did great work in researching lots of different fulfillment centers, and she provided me with a list of all of the possible options. Then myself and my team, Bernadette, started calling them, speaking to all the fulfillment centers, and we spoke to Habu. And Habu was the fulfillment center we decided that we wanted to work with because they provided a really easy and simplified end-to-end process. It meant that I could liaise with my factory and get the product sent directly from the factory into the fulfillment center. And from here, they will take control of when orders come in. So if I give you a bit of an overview of how the process works from a kind of website logistics perspective, I worked with Mobians, who is my Fiverr website designer team, and they designed the website with the platform that would enable it to connect directly to Habu. So when an order comes in from the website or from Amazon, it will go through the website directly to Habu, and they'll be notified that there's an order from the customer. And then that order will then be processed here, where they will pick and pack the various items that the customer has purchased and get it sent out to the customer based on the shipping scenario they have chosen, i.e., do they want next day delivery? Do they want international delivery? Are they happy with just standard delivery? So it will then be picked and packed accordingly. And that's why I'm here today. So I wanted to see how it really happens. I wanted to go behind the lens and see what really goes on in the fulfillment center. And so I've had the exciting opportunity to be here today at Habu, seeing how it all happens. And of course, seeing where my stock is held. And so we had some great work behind the scenes with my team, getting it from the factory to here. And now the products are here in stock, but also here behind me on our special kind of picking, packing shelf area, which is where it will be picked and packed. Now, as I say, it is entirely up to you whether you want to go through that process of having it in-house and doing that picking and packing and posting process first, or whether you want to go straight into fulfillment. But from my perspective, I'm always thinking about how can I build a business that has the foundations for growth. I want to be in a position where even if I have a small quantity of product, I can get it to somewhere like Habu, and I can ensure that they're going to pick and pack and make sure the customer service end to end is phenomenal. And then I can just focus on growth. I always say to my mentees, it's important that you think about how you buy back your time, right? So one of my mentees at the moment is going through this process, and she has a phenomenal business and she's picking and packing herself. And I'm saying to her, well, actually, the time you're spending picking and packing, you could spend on growing the business. You could spend on email marketing, on social media marketing, on speaking to your customers, on getting feedback, on choosing new product, new stock, and so on. And so it's important you think about how you utilize your time. And so for me, it's about ensuring that my product is somewhere that is safe, that is in a position where they are going to pick and pack for me and ensure that my customers get it on time. And of course, that I have more time to grow the business itself. So here's a few steps for you today. So I want you to think about how you're going to make sure the logistics of your brand are taken care of. So you might need, like I did, a Fiverr VA like Shoshana, who's going to help you speak to various fulfillment centers and get your quotes and so on. You want to speak to them and make sure that they are able to support your brand and your brand growth. So can they take you at a small level when you have an initial, maybe smaller amount of stock? And can they grow with you as you continue to grow? Now, I can imagine right now I have a shelf, and we're going to get the hosiery in here as well. We'll probably have 2 shelves. But I expect in the next 6 months, I'll have this whole area. Like this will be me, right? And that's what you need. You want to make sure they are there to be able to support your growth. So I want you to think, number one, what do you need for logistics? Who do you need to help you speak to those various different people and get the quotes in? Once you have spoken to the logistics center you want to go with, for example, Habu, how are you now going to get everything in motion so you can get your product to the center so you can start getting out to your customers? You want to think about liaising with your web designers to make sure they are able to connect the website to the fulfillment center system so that it's a really clear process end to end. And of course, you want to make sure that you have your stock in a place that is safe and is able to help you to grow and scale the business. Now, I hope you are really enjoying this series with myself and Fiverr, and I hope you're taking a lot of great information away with you and you're actually taking action. I look forward to seeing you next time when we explore the next stage to building a business from the ground up.